All right, folks, Jermaine Farrell in the house with the WFXR Sports Sit Down on WFXR.com and joined by, great people and this band is no exception. Former head coach over at William Byrd High School, the boys basketball team, and now he's gone from coach to pastor full time. And joining me right now, of course, the awesome Josh Cunningham. What's up, JC?
Jermaine, how you doing, man? It's still kind of crazy when you say it like that. Man, it's humbling, but yeah, man, it's good to talk with you.
Good deal. Now, first of all, just talk to me. Share a little background for everybody who probably don't know about you. Your basketball side of things. Just talk about your coaching and everything over at William Byrd and other places.
Yeah, man. Out of college, I got a job at Reno Catholic and was an assistant coach there for 3 years and a head coach for three. And so I spent my first 6 years there, and then was fortunate to get the job at William Byrd, my alma mater, which was a dream. And coached there for 4 seasons, and that has been the extent of my coaching to this point.
Good deal. And now, right now, you have the honor of being a pastor at Lighthouse Bible Church. I got to ask you, from this perspective, what made you want to actually make the move? I mean, coaching, teaching, all that, to make the transition to become a pastor. What was the driving force behind that?
Yeah, man. I can definitely tell you it wasn't something that I ever thought about doing or considered doing. I just, especially when I got the job at Bird, with that being my alma mater, I assumed I'd just be there, the rest of my career. I mean, why would I want to go anywhere else? And in August, our senior pastor approached me with this opportunity. He said that he felt like the Lord had laid on his heart, to ask me about this and approach me about the potential of being the administrative pastor at our church. And he probably had to pick my jaw up off the floor when he asked me, because that's just, I mean, that's just not something that I had ever thought about or considered. But I was honored and humbled that he approached me about it. And so I spent about the next month and a half talking with Melissa and praying over it and just really trying to seek in God's guidance for it. And man, as I did that, it was abundantly clear as to which way the Lord was directing me. And so, I kept going through those steps, and we had a few more meetings, and each time it felt more clear. So at the end of the day, I wanted to be obedient to that call. I felt like coaching was a calling at one point, and I felt, this was my next chapter. I felt like the Lord was pulling me in this direction. So that's kind of what prompted it.
When you talk to the administration of William Byrd to let them know what you were doing, just talk about just that interaction, because I'm sure it was kind of a tough thing to do, to say, I'm leaving you guys to join the ministry.
Oh, it was brutal, man. I was dreading that conversation with Miss Newcomb for a while, not because of any, I love Miss Newcomb and the administration there. And I knew that, they trusted me as a fairly young coach to take that over. So that was a tough conversation, but she was very gracious. She understood. They were supportive the whole way, of that decision. And, that I was fortunate that they, as I approached Miss Newcomb, it was back in, I think, October, or November, about my decision, and especially with the teaching side of it. But I had asked her, I would never want to leave our guys without a coach for the upcoming season that close. So I said, if you'll have me, I certainly want to coach out this season. And I was fortunate that we were able to make that work. So, from January on, I was no longer teaching, but I was still able to coach the season out and finish that with our guys. So that was special.
Then you talk about your wife, Melissa, and your family. Just talk about the support you've gotten from them to make this transition.
Oh man, I couldn't do it without them. Just as as any good coach knows, they have to have a wife behind them, and I think that even is probably times 10 with a pastor. I mean, it's a team effort, and I'm blessed to have a great family behind me and supportive, and so I'm definitely a lucky guy when it comes to that, for sure.
Now, take me to your first sermon. How was that? Like, when did all that happen? And take me to that. I mean, I bet you were probably a bundle of nerves when you had your first sermon.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I had to kind of eat some of my own. I was talking with our senior pastor, Pastor Jay, about that. I'd had some pregame talks about our guys about how, nervous is a good thing. It means it matters. Don't embrace the nerves. Don't fight them. And that Sunday morning, I felt myself having to replay those words in my own head because it was nerve wracking, your first time doing something along those lines. But it was good, man. The Lord led, and I just did my best to be a vessel for that message that the Lord had laid on my heart, and it went well.
What are some of the similarities, if there are any, between being a pastor and being a coach?
There's more than I think I would have realized had I not been in this situation. We always, when I was a coach, would preach to our guys that basketball, is life and life is basketball, and there's so many parallels there. And I think you see that too now with, a lot of it is leadership and just relating to people. In coaching, the first and foremost thing is you got to be able to relate to the kids and relate to your players and build those relationships. And I think pastoring, that's the number one thing too, is being able to build relationships with people and pour into their lives. And that's where you really get started connecting with people. So I think those two definitely parallel.
And then, how rewarding is this to give back in this way? I mean, obviously you've given back as a coach and as an educator, but now to give back, in a spiritual manner, how special is that for you?
Oh man, it's special. It's overwhelming. It's humbling. I feel the weight of that decision. Because you're talking about doing some pretty intense work. When it comes to people's walk with Christ and their salvation and just leading people to Him. And so I don't take it lightly. And I'm blessed to be part of a church who does their best to stay biblical and come from that standpoint. So, but it is, man, it's exciting. It gives you a little bit of juice to get out of bed, knowing that's what you're going to work to do. So it's been great, man.
And I've interacted with you a lot of times, and first of all, I think you're a blessing as far as taking this route. Not only that, but also a blessing with helping the young guys, because the players, they definitely respond to you and they play for you hard. But you mentioned something interesting. You said probably early on you never would have thought that you would be doing this. And it just take me back to that moment. I mean, because obviously, did that play back in your brain when like say your senior pastor said, "Hey, I want you to be a part of our ministry. I want you to be one of our pastors." But you even said earlier you never saw yourself doing this.
No, man. I mean, I was a basketball coach and a teacher. I mean, that's just kind of how I saw myself. And I've learned pretty quickly, even through my different stops in coaching, that you'll have plans laid out for yourself, and you'll have, a vision as to what you want the future to be and what that will look like, and the Lord will steer you the way that He knows best and He sees fit. So, I think my ultimate goal is to try to be obedient to that, to try to seek His will for my life, and do everything I can in my power to obey and just let Him do the heavy lifting, and I'll just try to do my part and be obedient.
What's the biggest piece of advice your senior pastor gave you when it comes to delivering a sermon or delivering the word? What's the biggest piece of advice he's given you?
Oh man, he's such a great mentor. Honestly, that it's nothing that he can do or that I can do or that any person can really do. I mean, it's got to be the Holy Spirit working through you. It's got to be the Lord giving you that wisdom, and as you plan out your study and as you prepare, it's just do your best to seek out what He would want you to say. And when you do that, I think like I said, the Lord will take care of all the hard stuff. I think you just got to be a willing vessel to do it.
Now, I want to make sure I have this part right. So, what's your actual official title at the church as far as pastor? Like you said, associate pastor or
It's administrative pastor. Yeah, we
administrative
had
pastor?
talked, this was a need, I think, at our church for a little bit. Pastor Jay is a powerhouse. He didn't need necessarily another preacher in the common sense behind him. I think what he needs and what our church needed is somebody who could come in and help with organization and head up different things, Sunday school classes and life groups and things of that nature. And, he had so much on his plate. It was pretty easy for him to pass some of that stuff off. So it's been great. And I think we're moving in the right direction. We've been blessed. The Lord's blessing our church. We're growing in a time that a lot of churches are not, which is unfortunate. But so yeah, man, it's been great. It's been a very smooth transition to this point. So
Now, Are you how are as far as like are you letting a certain you guys are letting a certain amount of your congregation in and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we encourage people if they feel led to wear a mask, by all means, do whatever you need to do to be as safe as you feel like you need to be. We've done some different things where first off, nobody knew what to do, so we had socially distanced and things of that nature. But we're pretty much back to normal right now. Like I said, we have people that wear masks, people that don't. But we definitely felt led that it was, we were pretty aggressive in getting back to meeting because we know that's what we've been called to do. So we did everything we could to do so safely, but to get back to meeting and, gathering together and just doing what, we've been called to do as a church.
Good deal. All right, so I'm gonna have a little fun with you. It's called Farrell's Five.
Okay.
Five questions. They're
Okay.
rapid fire, but they're not really rapid fire. I mean, take your time because that's how we roll again. But we're with not associate, administrative pastor.
There you go. That's right.
See, it's like you want to say associate pastor because most churches they have an associate pastor, not administrative. So you want to say that. Anyway, administrative pastor of Lighthouse Baptist Church is Josh Cunningham, former boys basketball coach at William Byrd on the WFXR Sports Sit Down on WFXRTV.com. First question: your favorite color and why?
Blue, and probably because I was a Duke fan growing up. Yeah, that Duke, not that baby blue. It's the dark royal blue.
not the Carolina blue. They say sky blue, but
that's right.
that. Let's see. Second question is, have you ever? All right. Question number one. It's sort of a two-part question. Question two. Your last technical foul.
The only one I've gotten, as a matter of fact, and I didn't even feel like I earned it, man. I got one. I think it was not this past season, but the season before, and I think it was Damon that teed me up, and I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking to somebody else on the crew. So yeah, my assistants gave me some stuff about that one, man, because I barely even said anything. I guess I don't know. So I've only gotten one my whole career, and that was the one. So.
All right. Question number three, your favorite basketball movie and why?
Oh, favorite basketball movie. That's tough, man. There's so many good ones. Coach Carter is up there. I love Coach Carter's approach in that one. Tough at first, showing them tough love, but getting the most out of them. And I know, so that's a great one. Man, there's a lot of good ones on that. That one's probably the first one that comes to mind.
Good deal. All right, fourth question. I can't even count today. That's a problem. All right, your favorite spiritual movie or movie related to religion, because there's a lot of those out there. You could be a documentary. It could be fictional type spiritual movie.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I mean, hands down. I don't know if you watched it, or I know it's been catching some steam, but The Chosen is I know season 1's been out. Season 2, they just dropped the first episode on Easter Sunday. It's tremendous, man. It's really well done. It's the first ever completely crowd-funded multi-season depiction about the life of Jesus. So it's tremendous. I encourage any believers or even non-believers to watch it. It's fantastic. So The Chosen would be up there for sure.
I'm gonna give you mine. It's called Facing the Giants or Facing Giants, I think. Facing the Giants.
That's a good one, yeah.
Where and this is crazy. The football coach had the guy do a bear crawl do a bear crawl.
Death crawl scene, yeah.
Death crawl scene. That is, you talk about, you want to fire someone up. You want to play that during the sermon. That will get everybody fired up.
Yeah, we showed that to our guys at Catholic when I was an assistant coach. Yeah, it was good.
To think he couldn't do it, and he crawled the whole field.
That's right. That's good, man.
All right, your favorite TV pastor, and I don't mean I mean fictional, like on a TV show, because there's so many of them out there. I have a couple myself, but your favorite man of the cloth or men of the cloth or women of the cloth who are like actors who portray ministers or members of the cloth.
Yeah, man, I don't know about fictional. That's tough. I'll tell you, one of my favorite famous pastors is probably Tony Evans, man. He's good. Fictional, I can't think of one that comes to mind. Who is yours as fictional?
I got a few. Well, one is on MASH. Father Mulcahy was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you have the pastor from the TV show Amen, Ruben Gregory.
I don't think I've seen that. I have to check that out.
And one of my favorite TV shows, Seventh Heaven, pastor from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah. Man,
Pastor, what's the family's name? The last name of the family on Seventh Heaven, I can't think of it.
I know what you're talking. I haven't seen that show in years, and I was used to watch that show all the time.
Yeah, I love him as a pastor. And then the pastor that was in the movie First Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good one.
With Ice Cube in this.
Yeah.
But then what's funny when you think of spiritual movies, a lot of them with Tyler Perry, even Medea says, "I don't go to church."
Right. Yeah.
So wait, I gotta look that up real quick, But anyway, yeah, those are really the ones that really, Camden. It's the Camdens. They were the
Yes.
Yeah. That was I love that show. And then there was an '80s show called Father Murphy. He was played by Merlin Olsen. So
Okay.
there were a lot of pastors from the fictional sense.
Yeah.
If you need to preach a sermon, you have them preach one.
Yeah, there you go. That's good, man.
Good stuff. Hey, Josh, final question for you. And, first of all, I do appreciate your time. The biggest thing is if you guys have a basketball team, are you going to coach that team? They're going to come to you to coach that team?
Oh man, if we ever got to that point where we had a basketball team, it'd be hard not to say yes to that, So who knows how the Lord will lead. I've found that to be true more times than not. You got to be ready because he has a sense of humor. He'll pull you in directions you never thought you might go.
Because you could be head coach of that team, the church team, player coach. Coach.
You never know. That's right.
Josh, anything else you want to add or anything else you want to say?
Nah, man, I'm super thankful that you took the time to, to share the story and just your heart in that. I appreciate that, man. I've enjoyed working with you over the years. You've been a blessing to me as well. So wish you the best, and hopefully we stay in touch.
Good deal. All right. Well, guess what, folks? Josh Cunningham, the administrative pastor over at Lighthouse Bible Church. Where's that church located, by the way? Just let everybody know.
It's right in the middle of Vinton, man. It's actually like almost a rock's throw from William Byrd High School. So that made it easy to get over to practices this past year. But yeah, man, right in the middle of Vinton. We'd love to have some visitors come and see us on Sunday. So it'd be great.
Good deal. Well, Josh, thanks so much for being on the WFXR Sports Sit Down, WFXRTV.com.
Thanks, Jermaine.